Hello, welcome to today's video tutorial on a very important commercial concept in the EPC industry, which is popularly known as RBC. RBC here stands for revenue, billing, and collection. These are the three vital stages in any EPC industry with respect to the commercial side of it. In this video, we will be seeing about how we move from unbilled to the collection, how the cycle happens in the commercial side of, which is a critical concept to understand. So I have taken here a timeline between January and February, so 1 month, and we are assuming the project starts in January, and you start the work on 1st of Jan. Now what happens is you do the work physically. So let's say it can be laying off a transmission tower, constructing a road, whatever is the scope of work you have to do, you start performing on Jan 1st. And then daily at the end of the day you update your SAP on the service entry saying this much amount of work you have done. So typically in a price schedule, when you win a project, you have a price schedule where you have quantities allocated, that let's say line item 1 you have for this project 10,000 cubic meter. So at that particular day, let's say you have executed maybe 1,000 cubic meter. So once you complete that particular small module out of the big project, let's say on 5th of January, as you see in the screen, one module is completed, 1,000, let's say 1,000 cubic meter you have completed. So you do that particular service entry, and at that particular point, once you have declared that that work is done or that module is completed, your revenue gets booked. Now what happens next is, after the revenue is booked, you also simultaneously start preparing checklist and JMC. JMC stands for Joint Measurement Certificate. What you do is you prepare a document saying that I have done this much amount of work, quantities is this much in this particular location, and your staff or the employee who's a supervisor there, he signs it. The equivalent customer staff, whoever was there to witness the work there, he also parallelly signs it, and then your project manager and your commercial sign it. So this is when actually it starts reflecting in your unbilled, because once you put the service entry, you have done that work. Now you have not billed that quantity yet to the customer, you are only declaring and you have done that work. So you prepare the JMC, you prepare the checklist, and currently this amount of work, let's say it's 100 rupees worth of work, that 100 rupees is currently sitting in your unbilled AR. AR here stands for accounts receivable. So whatever is the amount which the customer owes to us falls in this bracket of AR. So we prepare this and get the document certified. This is the second phase of it. The third phase of it is basically what we do is the commercial who's in charge of that project, he or she starts to prepare the bill. Based on this JMCs and checklist and the quantities, they still start to prepare the bill, and what they do it, they submit they sign it, they certify it, and then they submit it to the customer. So from the customer side, what they do is let's say at the site level, because typically all these EPC projects happens at sites. It can be a remote site or it can be within the city, but the customer who's sitting at that site office would certify, and then it moves from the bracket of unbilled to bill. Once you raise the GST invoice, it moves from the bracket of unbilled to billed. Now the next step is the customer is certifying at the site level, and then he or she would push that bill to their next regional office level. So from the site level to the regional office level is step number 10. And then what happens is regional office certifies and then sends it to their corporate, and corporate finally certifies and then says yes, it's good to go, the amount can be transferred. Like I said, let's say it's 100 rupees worth of work you have done, corporate will make either a NEFT or a RTGS payment to the service provider. Uh, on 31st February, once you have moved the bill from regional office to the corporate, and then in February 1st you would be getting the payment. So this is how the phasing happens in this RBC. You book the revenue, then you do the billing, and then you collect the money. So when it's in unbilled or when it's in billed, it typically sits in the basket called AR, which is nothing but the accounts receivable. So this is broadly the concept which I wanted to cover, the commercial concept of an EPC industry from unbilled to collection.